Welcome back to another video, guys. It's your boy Danny Klein back at it. In this video, I'm gonna drop some of the most crazy fire stuff I've ever dropped on the channel before. I did a 30-minute speech to some of our people that are in our school community, that are in our Elliott Training Academy, and it was absolutely fire. It was some of the most gangster bombs I've ever dropped, most jam-packed video you ever see. Make sure you guys stay all the way to the end, because I got a little surprise for you. Let's get it. Danny Klein with the Elliott Group. No limit! What a warm welcome. What a sick walkout video we got right there. I got you guys, man. So super grateful to have you guys here. How was Selena? Isn't this amazing that you guys get to come down here for free and get some of the most fire information in the entire country? You guys got some amazing stuff planned for you guys. Some of our top coaches back to back to back to back. There's like over 10 coaches. And you guys, I've got to see some of the stuff that they've done. And you may not have seen a whole lot of their background or understood some of the stuff they've done or the money they've made. But some of the coaches that we're bringing up today is some crazy, crazy stuff. Man, it's been a crazy journey. I know Ian kind of talked a little bit about, my story, but I came from crazy background in college, alcohol issues, crazy addictions. We got some people from our company that shouldn't be here. And that's one of the most amazing things that I love about what we do is we get to help people that they were counted out. I was counted out. A lot of you guys counted out. Who got bullshit or backlash from coming down here? That's stupid. You're watching the Andy Elliott guy, the guy with the tight pants. Congratulations, you're doing some big shit. You guys can give a round of applause to yourselves. When I was selling 8 cars a month when I got into the car business, and I thought it was going to kill it. One of my buddies was making $15K a month, $20K a month, and I was like, oh, I'm going to smash it. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to make that amount of money. And it didn't happen at all. I got absolutely my ass whooped, my ass handed to me. And I started watching Andy Elliott. I looked up how to sell cars, right? Original deal. He had probably 5,000 subscribers. This was back in the day when Andy would have a book on the screen. Yeah. And it would just be you couldn't even read it. It was download the PDF to read what's behind me. Long story short, I reached out to this guy. I put $1,000 on a credit card to come to one of my first events. It was a room just like this. It was probably 20. It was actually a lot smaller. It was 20 people, right? This is when Andy first started. Went from making $2.5 million as a GM to making maybe $10K a month, if that. He sold everything, his whole story. But I went back and I was selling 25, 30 cars a month, making $10,000, $20,000 a month when I was 19 years old. I'm 25 now today. I've been with Andy for almost 5 years. And I'm going to tell you guys that as soon as you make a decision to truly change your life, see, most people never actually decide. They come here and they're like, oh, that was kind of cool. I got to see Andy, and, they kind of float around. Everybody write down no floating. I don't want any floaters. We want people that are going to take ideas, things that come to your mind, things that you hear from all of our different coaches. We're going to write down plan for the future. Salespeople have a month-over-month mindset, and it needs to get destroyed today. Think about your life and your sales as a business, as a funnel. It's constantly growing. It doesn't end. Who's ever had a client buy after 6 months, 3 months, a year? I have people I've been following up with for 3 years. I never buy. Guess what? I'm still bringing that piece of bamboo. I'm still shooting that text. I'm building my pipeline. Everybody write down bamboo. You want to understand the story? Pipeline, building your pipeline. A year later, I have a steady stream of water from all my bamboo that I laid from a year of bamboo coming to my village with fresh water. And Ian's house ain't got no plumbing. He's still running up. And I'm living the good life because I built the pipeline. I built it. Guess what? People are like, well, I don't want to carry all that bamboo. That's hard. I don't know if it's going to pay out. I don't know if I'm going to get the result. You have to know certain principles and certain things. I always think there's salespeople and there's business professionals. I think salespeople can make 50, 60, 70 grand a year. I think business professionals that specialize in sales can make $300, $400, $500 million a year. But you have to adopt that mindset of long-term thinking. It's the same thing. Who's ever seen a salesperson month over month? They restart, stress the fuck out. They're like, oh, dude. I mean, shit. Who's all there? Some people are there. right? Most of you guys are there. You all are lying.
Yes.
Fuck, I still feel stressed out sometimes, and that's good for us. But you have to be building that pipeline, because if you ever want the big deal, the big thing, the thing that's going to change your life, it's going to come from that bamboo that you brought on day 256, 257, when you got no results, when nothing was coming in. You have to build your pipeline. I'm known as the guy in our company, like Tactical Thursday and shit like that, but I'm the relationship guy. I make friends with everybody, Lenny. Because I never know if I give and I give and I give to everybody when they're going to decide they want to give back. Yep. It's like the law of reciprocity. If I keep giving out to the world, eventually something's going to come back. Yep. The last one. So we got baseball. It's our mindset on what we're going to do inside sales. What's a winning number? What's a good batting average? They'll never hit 50%. They'll never hit 80%. I like to have that mindset that we're going to hit everybody. But guess what? If I don't want to get down on myself and get negative and put I'm guilty. I didn't sell anything today, dude. I freaking suck. I know everything that I did today, the amount of inputs that I had, eventually is going to average out, law of averages.
Yes.
Last one. I want you guys to answer this. If I get bread from the store, and I take that bread home and I put it in the toaster, what comes out? Toast. Pretty fucking easy, right? I want you to think about this. If you made 100 calls into the same presentation, or door knocks, or whatever that may be, pitches, and you did that same thing every single day for a month straight, you think you'd eventually figure out some consistency, some things
Yes.
that are going to come? If you know what your inputs are, you know what your outputs are going to be. Everybody write down KPIs. KPIs. What are KPIs?
Key performance indicators.
How many people know the word but have never tracked their stuff? I should see like 100% of you. Y'all are some good liars. It took me like 3 years in this company to actually track it and be consistent and to go through it. But when you figure them out, you now get to become your own best coach. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. But you now start to figure out the holes in your game. If you don't think like a true business person and you're just showing up, hey, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product, and you're not getting the feedback, you're delusional. I want you to shout out, what was your favorite out of the three? Baseball, bamboo, toaster.
Baseball.
Toaster, why toaster, Dustin?
Because I fall short, man.
You fall short?
KPIs is brutal honesty, man. I suck. Did suck.
Okay, what are you going to do to improve it going forward?
Follow education, follow up myself, and actually put my notes and do them. Go through my notes and actually read them and then put them into practice.
I love that. What else? What do we got? If I'm exhausted, again, you got to train, you got to build all that skill set, which is why it's important to be in things like this, to learn, you'll get more awareness on like where the buffer is. I can ask very difficult questions and navigate through things to where I can kind of, I don't want to say like pin people in a corner, but I can get you to a place to where you're going to look at me and either tell me you're just not going to do it or what's going on. And if I can't close those people, boom, hey, love you, I move on. It's not worth my time and my energy, my heart, thinking about, what about that deal? I got a lot more people to help, bro. And so you have to have that quick mindset. Boom, if it don't work, hey, it's good. I can only do as much as I can do. And then you just get better. Inside sales and business. If you want to truly like fucking kill it, you have to be curious about it. I see people that are trying to figure out all these things, but they're not like, what's the answer? What is that? How'd you do that? What's going on? Yeah, worried about, anybody ever know Tommy? You know Tommy in here? Yeah. Tommy is like, what's going on? How'd you do that? What's that deal? What's going on? Let me see. What did you text me? Oh, that was the gift? Where'd you find that? What app is that? I'm like, oh, fuck, bro, shut up. But that's the reason why he kills it. He's going to make over $1 million this year.
Yes.
Because he's so curious. He's so obsessed with finding the answers. And asking questions. You have to know everything. You have to be naturally curious. And some of you, maybe if you're not, you have to learn to be curious. I remember when I was riding a bike, anybody have training wheels on their bike when they first started? Yep. I had training wheels, and I was scared. I didn't know how to bike, and I really didn't want to ride my bike because it was embarrassing. Everyone else had the training wheels off, and they were fucking jumping off the ramp and stuff. And then, eventually, I was like, remember, I told my brother, I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I'm like, pull the training wheels off, fuck it. I had no idea, and I pulled the training wheels off, and I finally get out there, and I take action, I start learning how to ride that bike. And I learned it. And when you decide to get good at something, and then guess what? 2 weeks later, I'm putting you ever take a soda can or a paper plate, you put it on a dirt bike and shit,
right?
And you're like riding around, you're jumping off this stuff. You're like getting the pegs. Your fucking buddies are riding around the neighborhood. You get more fun as you get curious, but when you got your training wheels on, you're not thinking about the pegs and freaking doing tail whips or whatever you're doing, riding your bike. So I need you guys to start thinking about some of those things. Next one is clarity. If you don't know, if you're not clear on who you want to become, who you want to serve, what your product does, if I can't bring everybody up here and just drill you and say, what do you do and why are you better? What do you do and why are you better? Who are you, why you do what you do, and why are you better? You're not clear on who you are. You don't deserve the business or the money yet. Empathy. It's a fucking superpower, man. It's our whole superpower. When I can step into somebody's shoes and feel what they're feeling, I can understand truly what's going on, and I'm not thinking about what's the package, what payment plan, what should I do, and I'm just there. I like to turn things from a negotiation, we're going to war, right? He's like, we're going to war. I'm like, I like that for my mindset. When I want the deal, I'm really smooth, man. I'm like, hey, come here, man. Let's sit down. Let's talk through this. I got you, man. Don't worry about it. Price, whatever, we'll figure it out. Like, I'm really smooth. I want to make sure that I can recruit them as a friend and turn that into a conversation. People talk about objections. How do I overcome it? And it's kind of like you're like punching them back. I think it sells like a dance. I'm like, let's just dance together a little bit longer. Let's just keep dancing. Let me keep kicking the ball a little bit further down the field. Everybody write that down. Keep kicking the ball a little bit further down the field. But if I got a guy, right, I taught a lot of our coaches here too, and we've gone through so much training, so much, and we just keep going more training, and I'm like, all right, tell me about the solar industry. Tell me about roofing. Tell me about plumbing. Tell me about social media marketing agencies. You got to know how to talk to these people. You got to be knowledgeable about this. And then we added another layer about these things. Because how can we help somebody in solar if I don't understand red lines, if I don't understand recruiting, if I don't understand this? I can only go so far today, feel like I'm not qualified to help them. Think about it. How qualified are you to help them, or are you thinking you're just a salesperson? Does anybody else like to think of themselves as like a consultant?
Yeah.
Consultant. I like to be a consultant. I like to be a coach. I want to coach people through their problems and their things. Curiosity, clarity, intention, empathy, and knowledge. Top 5 bulletproof foundation. If you just think about those 5 words when you're going through, this will solve so many problems, so many things. As I've gotten more and more complex, I did this on my last Zoom call, I talked about this. It's the more I've come back to make things simple and just think about what are the simple things that I'm not doing. Everybody write down the simple things scale. All right, last 2 things I'm going to talk about. These are 3 non-negotiables that I like to run through daily if you're figuring out why you're not hitting your numbers, why you're not where you want to be. These are 3 things I like to follow that give me awareness on like where I'm fucking up. Number 1 is activity. Do I have enough volume? Enough calls, enough door knocks, enough presentations? Second one is attitude. Are you funny? Are you charismatic? Did you have a good attitude, a good mindset today? Anybody ever like do a ton of work and you just felt like nothing was going to close because you weren't in that flow? Anybody ever felt there?
Yeah.
Days like that? It's your attitude. Number 3 is skill set. Sometimes your skill set's holding you back. Skill set's holding you back from asking that hard question, understanding those things. What do I say? How do I respond? So whenever you have a day that you don't show up and you don't close, you're not hitting the numbers you want to hit, put your head on that little pillow to go to sleep. It's one of those 3 things. Activity, attitude, skill set. If you miss one of them, it's not it. You have to have all 3. You have to have high volume. If you have good attitude and really good skills, but you make 10 calls a day, is that person going to kill it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're not going to kill it. What about the person that's got a really good attitude, makes a lot of activity, but their skill sucks? I see so many people like that. They're like, oh man, I'm trying, I'm going hard. They're the best people in the world, but their skills are not on point yet. Activity, attitude, skill set. I got like 3 minutes left, so I'm going to run through this last. You guys like this so far?
Yeah!
Appreciate you guys. All right. Last thing I want to close out for you guys. I call it the trifecta. I stole this from PBD. You guys have never seen this, and I've taught on this before, but it's one of my favorite things that I've ever like just learned because I felt like I could identify what type of closer I was. Does anybody know like what type of closer they are, what type of salesperson they are? You're like, oh, that person's the hardcore guy. That's the smooth. That's a velvet hammer, right? So the first one's the finder. This is the person that knows how to go in the room and find the people that are wanting to do business with you anyway. Finders. Number 2, these are the closers. These are the people, you put them in front of everybody, they can convince them, they got the words, they got the energy, they know how to close, they know how to use the words, they know how to get people to say yes. And then you got 3, the developer. This is the person that's going to give value, they're going to send out gifts, they're going to make sure everything is on point, they're going to make sure you show up on time, they're going to make sure everything goes really nice. Sometimes these are support people, but sometimes you take a support person and teach them sales. They're some of the most deadly people ever because they actually learn customer service and not just making money and selling. Finder, closer, developer. I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you think Selena is? Developer, good. What do you think the twins are? Finder, closer. You think they're a trifecta?
Yes, sir.
You think they're all three? Andy would be the closer?
Right.
I would say they're both.
Both?
I think everyone's trifecta, bro.
The people that can become all three are fucking deadly. Finders, closers, and developers. If you can nurture your clients, build those relationships, find new people, close new people, oh, it's dangerous. Most people, everybody's, oh, I'm all three. Most people are not all three. But you can get a little better. I was not all three in the beginning, and I got better. And first thing that happened, awareness. Oh, I'm not finding new clients. Oh, I'm not doing certain things, right? I'm not the developer. I'm not doing the extra mile with the gifts. Selena's freaking handing out chains and pins. How many guys, I used to have a pin from Selena, I'm like, fuck, dude, Selena's got me. I'm the developer, right? So we got to think about all those things. Finder, closer, developer. Let's close out. Let me hear a couple things on what you are. Finder, closer, developer. What do you guys think that you guys are? Finder? Closer? All three? We like it? What are you guys? Closer? Dustin? Closer? You got to call it out. Who thinks they're all three?
Developer.
I want you guys every single day when we leave here today to strive to become all three. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is as you guys go through this, I hope you guys took some notes and wrote these things down because I need you to identify those key points. And now you have awareness of some of the most simple things that 100% of the people in this room can follow and absolutely go and kill it. This isn't 10 objections, you got to master them and you got to speak in front of people. These are very basic things that everyone can follow. I promise it'll double or triple your income in the next 3 or 4 months if you just follow it. Last thing I want to leave you guys with is one of my favorite quotes. It's execution over perfection. When you leave your plan that I told you guys to make, it's probably going to be a little fucked up. It's going to be chicken scratch, not going to be the best. Just execute on it. Make the 50 calls. Show up and hit the doors. Learn the objections. Do the things that suck, and then add a little bit more. Appreciate you guys. If you stayed this far, I know you got all the game in that video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share the video with the homie. Don't be a freaking worm. And make sure you shoot me a comment, get the engagement up. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Appreciate, love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.